Now, this video is not for beginner, it is not for wannabe entrepreneur. This video is for you if you are running a 6-figure or 7-figure business and you find yourself just kind of hit that glass ceiling. You know, in the beginning of your career, you have this dream, you have this idea, and you say, I want to start a business, right? And then wouldn't it be great if you could hit that $1 million mark? To have that $1 million business. You could tell people that I run a 7-figure business, and you work hard and you hustle and you just work and work and work like a dog, and finally you get there and you realize it's not what it's cracked up to be. Now today I'm going to share with you that very few people could tell you, because this is where I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't get and where they get stuck. When you're just getting started, when you're making maybe a few $100,000 a year, and you say to yourself, you have this idea, this vision, if you ever hit that $1 million mark, all your problems will go away, that you'll be sitting on the beach, you'll retire, you are a $1 million business owner, life would be fantastic, right? Now for those, if you're watching my video and you have actually built a business beyond $1 million mark, comment below and see if what I'm saying is true, so other budding entrepreneurs could see and learn from your experience. You see this on Instagram, on social media, and people are bragging, oh, I run this $1 million business. Here's the reality. Here's the wake-up call. $1 million business is nothing. It is nothing. If you are honest, you are nothing more than a glorified one-man or one-woman show. You might have a few people working with you, right? But after it's all said and done, you pay your people, you pay your team, you pay your marketing, maybe you're making a few $100,000. Depends on your industry, depends on your profit margin. You can't retire on that. You can't even afford to buy the things that you want. You can't buy the dream house that you want. You can't drive the dream car that you want. Maybe a decent car, but not the dream car that you want. You can't even fly first class. Forget flying private. You cannot even fly first class. A plane ticket that costs you $10,000, $15,000, it is a big stretch. You see, let's take US for example. There are 30 million businesses in US. 96% never bypass the $1 million mark. 96%. Only 4% out of that 30 million businesses ever get to $1 million a year. And less than 0.4% ever get to $10 million. And less than 18,000 businesses ever get to 50 million. Put that aside. I'm talking about when you're making a couple million a year as a business owner, life is not that easy. Now here's the problem. People will tell you when you're making a couple million, what do you need? You need systems. You need to have systems in place, but no one could tell you where the hell do I find the money and resources to have the systems, to hire the people so we could create the systems. No one tells you that. You're still putting out a lot of fires every single day. Comment below if this is true. You're still solving a lot of problems. Your team cannot make decisions without running everything by you, right? You are the bottleneck of the business and you are stuck and you cannot even fathom and imagine, how could I even handle more? And for some, you are actually making less money compared to when you were just making a few $100,000 a year. You have more responsibility, you have more problems, you have more issues, you have more stress when you're at that $1 or $2 million mark. Now you are not too big and you're not too small, right? You're not too small because you've kind of got a team, but you're not big enough that you could have an executive team, right? A management team to hire the best people. You're not there yet. So you're stuck at this place. I call this the $1 million glass ceiling. And it feels like a glass ceiling. It could be even you're making $2 million, $3 million. From my experience, it's between the $1 to $3 million mark, right? That's the challenge. And you thought to yourself, the answer to my problem is just working harder. Although you're looking at your schedule, you're like, how could I possibly work more? You are working on the weekends, you're working at night, you're not spending time with family. How could I possibly work more? And now someone is telling you, you need to grow the business even bigger. You're like, I would die. I would have no life. I already have no life. I sacrifice so much for my business, yet I'm making less money compared to when I was just by myself, making a few $100K. I have more freedom, I have more choices. Now I got to deal with people. and you don't know how to build systems, you cannot afford to build systems, and you don't know how to build a team, and you don't know the difference between a great employee or a good employee, all these things are coming at you, and you are stressed out of your mind. That's what people don't talk about. This is why you could have a 7-figure business and you still feel broke. You still feel poor. I can't buy the dream house that I want. I can't have the ideal lifestyle that I want. And people look at you. Here's the problem. People look at you and they say, I mean, what are you complaining? You're running $1 million business. That's good. You're like, dude, I'm dying here. I'm drowning here. It's not good. It is not good. And they're like, what are you talking about, man? You should be grateful. Well, it's like, this is good. I said, no, it's not good. And there's nothing wrong with running a couple $1 million a year business. Maybe it gives you a nice cash flow. It's a lifestyle business. And that's perfectly fine. But if you want to build something significant, knowing that your goal is to get to that 10 million, 1 to 2 million, even 3 million is hell. 10 million is where you want to be. One of the sayings I have, it's 1 million is a bitch, 10 million is a breeze. There's a big difference because at $10 million, now you have the revenue, you have the profit to actually have a proper team in place. You could have maybe not C-suite, but you could have a decent management team that you could delegate your day-to-day to. So you could focus on your zone of genius, which could be creating. You are the visionary. You are doing deals. You're coming up with ideas. You're focusing on strategy. But then you've got a team that's running the day-to-day, that's doing the spreadsheet, that's doing all the detail work that you don't like to do. Let them do that. But when you're doing a couple million, you can't afford it. You could barely afford maybe one general manager. You don't want that. You want to get to that $10 million mark as quickly as possible. And here's something that you have to consider if you want to retire comfortably, if you want to create generational wealth at $2 million. Let's say it depends on the industry. Let's say it is a 2 times multiple, okay? 2 times multiples. If you want to sell the business, let's say you sell it for $4 million, okay? $4 million. It's okay. You're still not quite enough. But when you hit that $10 million mark, that's when private equity takes notice. That's when you can sell your company at way higher multiple. Because now you're talking to people and you're selling your business to people who's got money, not mom and pop. People who's got a lot of money and they're willing to pay a higher multiple because you've got a little management team in place. You know what you're doing. You have traction. Now they are willing to talk, right? That's the bare minimum, that $10 million mark. And you can sell it for a way higher multiple. Let's say instead of a 2 times multiple for 4 million, 2 million a year, let's say you're doing a $10 million a year, you could easily sell a company for 6 multiple. Now we're talking $60 million. That's FU money, right? That's money that you could retire on. That's the difference. That's the sweet spot you want to get to. It doesn't mean you have to stop. It doesn't mean you have to sell, but knowing you do not want to stuck at that $1 or $2 million mark. You want to get to that $10 million mark. In this period of time, you don't want to stay in here too long. You've got something that's going, you have to scale as quickly as possible. And that's what we're talking about. If you don't want to have a 7-figure business and still feel broke, you still feel like I don't have a lot of control over my life, I don't have a lot of freedom, I can't buy the things I want, I can't provide a lifestyle to my family that I want, I can't even retire, then what do? I'm conducting a live 5-day challenge called the SMART Challenge, which is going to teach you how to build that unbreakable business and how to break through that glass ceiling. Go from a couple million to that $10 million market using social media, using technology, and using a remote team. All those things are very, very scalable. You want to build a scalable business, right? You want to see how you can digitize what you do, how to virtualize what you do. This is where the world's going, especially in the middle of this crisis. And I'm going to do this live. It's you and me. Not a recording, it is live, a 5-part, 5-day challenge. If you are ready to hear the truth, if you are ready to make some changes, if you're ready to break through that glass ceiling, if this makes sense for you, click on the link below. I'd love to have you, and let's work on this together and break through that glass ceiling for you.